On the last day of June, Newcastle United paid €21.5 million for a goalkeeper. He had just spent the season in the French second division. His club, Reims, finished 6th in Ligue 2. Almost nobody outside France watched him play. Ligue 2 is a division that sells. Since the 1st of June, 45 players have left its 18 clubs. 29 have arrived. 3 of those departures alone carried disclosed fees of €25 million, €25 million and €21.5 million. And 6 clubs have not signed anybody at all. You do not preview this league by reading the table. You preview it by reading who is leaving. Estac Trois won Ligue 2 with 67 points. Le Mans finished second on 62 and lost 4 matches all season. Nobody else lost fewer than 6. Both of them went up. The cruelty sits underneath them. Saint-Étienne finished third on 60 points with 59 goals and stayed exactly where they were. Red Star and Rodez tied on 58. Reims made 56, Annecy 52, Montpellier 51. That is 5 clubs inside 7 points, and not one of them went anywhere. Only the top 2 are promoted automatically here. Troyes scored 60 goals, Saint-Étienne 59. Then the league flattens out. Reims and Dunkirk both scored 53 and finished 6th and 10th. Dunkirk had the joint 3rd best attack in Ligue 2 and came 10th because they conceded 45. Le Mans went up scoring 50, which is only the 5th highest total in the division. Goals were not what separated the top of this table. The joint best defence in Ligue 2 finished 8th. Montpellier conceded 31, exactly level with Le Mans, who went up. Montpellier scored 41 and ended on 51 points. Troyes won the league, conceding 33, so the champions did not own the best defence either. Reims conceded 35 from 6th. Defending well is not what gets you out of Ligue 2. Only 2 clubs went up. And then there is Pau. They finished 9th with a goal difference of -14. 4 clubs that finished below them had a better one. Pau scored 48, more than the side that finished 4th, and conceded 62, more than everybody except Amiens. That is a team that won and lost heavily and almost never drew the difference. It is also the single most watchable side in this division. Louis Mafuta generated 19.52 expected goals for Guingamp, more than anybody else in Ligue 2. He scored 15, and Guingamp finished 11th. At the other end, Zuriko Davitashvili scored 14 from 9.73 expected, and Thomas Robinet scored 15 from 10.76. Taufik Bentayeb led the league with 18 from 15.54, which is the rare case of a top scorer whose chances justified him. Mafuta is 32, and he has already left Guingamp. Creation tells the same story. Martin Adeline made 10 assists for Troyes, the most in Ligue 2, and he now plays for Hamburg. Augustin Boki made 9 for Saint-Étienne, from 816 expected assists, which was the highest figure in the division, and he is still here. Irvin Cardona added 7 alongside him. Enzo Bardelli of Dunkirk made 63 key passes, more than anyone, and he has gone to Levante. The division's leading assist maker and its leading key passer have both left it. Here is the whole window, club by club, since the 1st of June. Reims have signed 6, more than anyone. Dunkirk, Nantes and Saint-Étienne have signed 4 each. Annecy, Metz and Montpellier 2, and then it stops. 6 of the 18 clubs have not signed a single player. One thing about these counts, because it matters. They count distinct players whose move took effect inside the window. Contract extensions, youth promotions and loan returns are not in there. Reims finished 6th and then ran the most profitable summer in the division. Patrick Zebi to Paris FC for €25 million. Ewan Jowan to Newcastle for $21.5 million. Cedric Kipri to Ipswich for $2.5 million. 9 players left in total. They spent 8.5 million, bringing 6 in, including Samuel Cotto from Ghent for 4 million and Youssef El Kachati from NEC Nijmegen for 2 million. Reims did not fail to keep their players. Reims are in the business of not keeping them. Metz were relegated out of Ligue 1 and have lost 7 players since. Sadibou Sané to Monaco for 7 million euros. Idrissa Gueye to Udinese for 6 million. Terry Yegby to Lech Poznan for 3 million. Gauthier Hein to Nice for 1.7 million. Kevin van den Kerkhoff to Charleroi for 1.5 million. They have signed 2, both free, Nampalys Mendy from Watford and Florian Miguel from Burgos. This is a Ligue 1 squad being taken apart before it has played a Ligue 2 match. Nantes came down with them and sold Mathis Abline to Monaco for 25 million euros. That is the joint biggest fee out of this division all summer. Alban Lafont went to Ahmed Sportif for 1 million. Anthony Lopez and Mathieu Akapandi left for nothing. 5 players out, 4 in, and only one of them cost money. Kylian Corridor from Darmstadt for 2 million. Mathieu Cafaro, Lucas Perrin, and Maxime Dupe all arrived free. A club with this history should not be a selling club, and it is. Saint-Étienne went the other way, and that is why they are the favourites. They finished third, spent 8.5 million euros, signed 4 and lost 1, the biggest net gain in the division. Jakob Brome from Go Ahead Eagles for 3.5 million. Thierno Ballo from Wolfsberger for 3 million. Aaron Chongvai and Mamour Ndiaye for 1 million each. The only departure was Beres Owusu for 250,000. A squad that scored 59 goals has been added to rather than picked over, and in this division that is close to an unfair advantage. Now, the clubs that sold and have not replaced. Rodez finished 5th and lost Tyrick Arconte to Millwall for 3 million euros and Nolan Galvaz to West Bromwich Albion for 1 million. Grenoble sold Mamadou Diop to Auxerre for 2 million and Loris Moyokolo to Baltica for 1 million. Clermont sold Ilhan Fakili to Besiktas for 1.24 million. Guingamp lost Luis Mafuta, who scored 15 goals for them. Between them, those 4 clubs have 11 departures, and so far, no arrivals at all. The other half of this division's economy is the loan. 7 players have arrived on loan. Annecy took Caden Young and Zepikeno Redmond, both left wingers, both from Aston Villa, and Annecy have lost nobody. Montpellier took Norden Mukiele from Rennes and Younes El Hanach from Paris Saint-Germain. Dunkirk took Khalil Ayari, also from Paris Saint-Germain, and Franck Atwen from Samsunspor. Reims took Alexandre Gouboglo. Ligue 2 is where French and English academies send players to find out whether they are real. Every club in the division, in and out, since the 1st of June. Reims 6 in and 9 out. Dunkirk, Nantes and Saint-Étienne 4 in. Annecy, Metz and Montpellier 2. Laval, Nancy, Pau, Red Star and Sochaux 1 each. Then 5 clubs on 0 rivals: Boulogne, Clermont, Grenoble, Guingamp and Rodez. And Dijon, newly promoted, who have not made a single move in either direction. That last one is a real 0, not a gap in the data. All 18 clubs were checked, all 18 came back, and there is no reserve side in this division hiding behind a missing feed. Lucas Stassin, 21, Saint-Étienne. He scored 11 goals and made 6 assists in 236 minutes from 12.62 expected goals. That expected goals figure puts him in the 94th percentile of this division, and his shots on target reach the 90th. He is the best young forward still in Ligue 2, at the club best equipped to go up, in a division that sells everybody. If Saint-Étienne are promoted, he is the reason. If he is sold first, that is the story of this window in one transfer. Ibrahima Balde, 23, Rodez. 12 goals in 1838 minutes from 11.13 expected goals and 0 assists, which tells you exactly what he is. goals in the 89th percentile of this division, expected goals in the 90th. Rodez finished 5th, sold 3 players and have signed nobody, so Balde is now carrying a squad that has been reduced around him. He is the top-ranked player in our Ligue 2 value model. This is the beat no other channel makes. A 5th-placed side's centre-forward is the most interesting scouting name in France's second tier. Hafiz Ibrahim, 20, Reims. 6 goals in 1063 minutes from 6.02 expected goals across 21 appearances. Goals in the 85th percentile, expected goals in the 88th, dribbles in the 78th, on roughly a third of a season. Reims sold 2 players this summer for 25 million and 21.5 million euros. They kept this one. In a club that treats its squad as inventory, the player they did not put in the window is the player worth watching. 4 clubs are new to Ligue 2. Metz and Nantes came down from Ligue 1. Dijon and Sochaux came up from the division below. Going the other way, Estac-Troyes and Le Mans were promoted, and Amiens and Bastia went down. Amiens conceded 65 goals and lost 22 matches, so nobody will argue. Bastia scored 23, the fewest in the league by 7, and still only lost 16. The 2 clubs coming down have already sold Abline, Seine, Gouy and Yegbe. The 2 coming up have signed 1 player between them. So what does promotion cost here? 67 points won the league, and 62 was enough for second. Of the clubs still in this division, Saint-Étienne came closest on 60. That is 2 short of going up and 7 short of the title. Red Star and Rodez were on 58, so 4 short. Reims on 56, so 6 short. 4 clubs still here finished within 6 points of promotion and none of them got it. Saint-Étienne have spent 8.5 million euros on that gap. Rodez have spent nothing. This is a projection from 1 season of results, not a prediction. Ligue 2 starts on Saturday and the whole round is played on the same day. Sochaux, newly promoted, host Saint-Étienne, who spent 8.5 million euros on going up. Nantes, relegated and 25 million euros lighter, play Red Star. Metz face Guingamp, who lost their 15-goal striker. Clermont host Reims. Montpellier, the joint best defence in the division, take on Dijon, the one club here that has not made a single move. 9 matches one day and the argument starts being settled. What would change my mind? First, this window does not shut until the 15th of September, and 6 of the 18 clubs have not signed anybody yet. Every count here is a photograph, not a season. Second, Lucas Stassin is the most sellable player left in this league. If he goes, the Saint-Étienne case in this film goes with him. Third, some ages in this data have no birth date behind them, so I have only stated the ones I could verify. Every number in this film comes from tifolab.com. Ligue 2 percentiles, squads, and the full transfer window are free to read there. If you think Saint-Étienne walk this, or that Rodez selling Tyrick Arconte for 3 million euros is the better story, say so. I would rather be argued with than agreed with.